Good afternoon, members of Parliament, support staff, members of the media, radio listeners, and TV viewers. Welcome to this Central Committee meeting number 1 of today, Friday, October 27, 2023. We've established a quorum of 8 members. Please rise for a moment of silence. Thank you. I've received notice of lateness from MP Viren. Is there any member of Parliament that wishes to have the floor for notifications? I see no need. Today we have as agenda point the discussion on Article 59 and ship jumping. To whom should I give the floor? I see MP Cedric Ortega would like to have the floor. MP Ortega, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon to my colleagues who are here with us today. To those listening via social media, good afternoon. To those listening via the radio, good afternoon and welcome to this meeting. Yes, Madam Chair, Article 59. We need to go back and understand the political system that we are using to maneuver ourselves through this country. And it is one of proportional parliamentary representation. And let me give you an analogy as to what this means. You have a car, which is the political party, the vehicle by which we are afforded the opportunity to sit here as members of parliament to represent the country. The car is a vehicle, which is the party that we are on. We are now sitting in the car, all heading into the same direction. At any given point in time, that within the confinements of that car, there's a dispute or someone chooses to go in another direction, that is their God-given right. They can exit the vehicle at any point in time. What cannot happen is an attempt to take one of the seats of that vehicle. And this is what we are seeing and have been seeing over the course of our young country in our execution of maintaining and upholding the spirit of the system that we are in. And far too often it has been with ulterior motives, not individuals not being satisfied with their particular wants and needs, and that goes again against the spirit of our system. Individualism is being curtailed by having a proportional parliamentary system, and we've seen the negative effects of the execution or the poor execution of our system. So I highly suggest that before individuals and parties engage in opting to represent the country, they be clear in understanding the system that we are in to prevent these things. We can always have a disagreement. We are all human. I am sitting here as part of the vehicle of the Democratic Party. However, at any given point in time that our ideas and views may differ, the door is always there. At no point in time, I, as a member of this parliament, will ever think or create the illusion that I can sit here as an individual member of parliament. I strongly believe that those days should be over with the growth in our political maturity. And with that, I yield the floor. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Ortega. Next on the speakers list, we have MP Benjamin Bell. MP Bell, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair Lady, and good afternoon to all that is listening, those who are looking at the meeting, and also for those who are here at the Tribune. It's great to see you guys here today. Madam Chair Lady, I'm one of those who have sat and listened to the different positions that Mr. Julio Romney had, and I'm one of those that it made sense to. Proportional representation is very easy to understand, knowing that this is what we have chosen to have in our situation. But when we look at it, one of the things that stands out to me is the fact that every time I'm looking at St. Martin and the way we are going as politics and with our people, it seems like we have to create a law or a policy to curtail the wrongdoers. And this to me seems like it's childish. this is a situation where we, as our politicians, should have been in a position to have much respect and step down when you need to step down. If your party and you are not on the same page, it's easy to step down. But here's the thing, when it comes to proportional representation, that means the party owns the seat if you didn't write out your full seat amount. And really truly, the only MP that has done that over the years was MP Heyliger. So if he wanted to leave with his seat, I saw that as a very good point if he wanted to leave with his. But all the others, they are definitely tied to the party. With that said, I've been looking at this for a while, and there's two things that always stands out to me. Yes, it's all right. It is all right. And I find that if you are being taken advantage of by your party, it is all right that you can use. Because we've also seen that here on the floor of Parliament, where parties are taking advantage of candidates to force them to do things that they are not in agreement with. But there's a problem when we are jumping ship because we want to form a new government. That situation in itself is part of the reason why we are continuously going to the Article 59. Sorry. So here's the thing. For me, if we come to the point where we find out what policies we need to adjust to curtail those bad actors or those who are just continuously using this situation as a form of let's take over the government, let's take over the parliament to do what we want, we have no choice but to have to find ways of doing that. So the things that we need to look at, Madam Chair, are this. What are the reasons for doing it? Is it to start a new government, or is it leaving because of a hostile party? And when you're forced. So these are things that we really need to look into, because we need a time frame in between the time of saying that I'm leaving my party as to what is the reasoning for doing this. So I really think that something like a informator or situation would be a best position to help us when it comes to making these types of decisions. Because again, this is talking about the future of St. Martin, and I think if we start to stand for what is right and doing things for the people of St. Martin, we will have a better Parliament and a better St. Martin. So I want to thank you, Madam Chair, for this time to be able to speak to my people.
Thank you, MP Bell. Next on the speakers list, we have MP Viren Kotai. MP Kotai, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Good afternoon to those tuned in via the radio and social media, and good afternoon to my fellow colleagues. Usually in the past, when government was broken, a plan was already in motion. Although Parliament went into a limbo for at least 2 weeks with heavy uncertainties in the time of 2019. So I propose a grace period, a cooling off period as such, for 3 weeks, where 21 days is more than ample time to see if a majority can be formed. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, members of Parliament, for quite an in-depth deliberation on Article 59 and shift jumping. We have come to the end of this meeting, and this meeting is now closed. Meeting closed.